She fell for a simple man, but didn't know. He was a billionaire in disguise. The coffee cup trembles in Sophia's hands as she stares across the crowded cafe, her heart hammering against her ribs. She knows she shouldn't be here, knows she shouldn't have agreed to this meeting with a complete stranger who found her business card tucked behind the counter at Romano's bakery. But something in his voice over the phone, that quiet confidence wrapped in unexpected gentleness, made her say yes before her rational mind could intervene. The afternoon light filters through tall windows, casting golden shadows across worn, wooden tables. She checks her phone again. 3:17. He's late, and she's already second-guessing everything when the door chimes softly behind her. She feels him before she sees him. It's ridiculous, really. This sudden shift in the air, the way her pulse quickens without reason. Sophia turns, and there he is. Tall, with dark hair that catches the sunlight and eyes the color of storm clouds. He's not traditionally handsome, not in the polished way of the wealthy clients she usually courts. Instead, there's something rawer about him, more real. He scans the cafe with careful eyes, and when his gaze finds hers, the world narrows to just this moment, just the way he pauses, as if he's forgotten how to breathe. Sophia? His voice is deeper in person, with an edge of uncertainty that surprises her. She stands too quickly, nearly knocking over her chair. Adrian? When he smiles, it transforms his entire face. Not the practiced charm she's used to from her usual clients, but something genuine that reaches his eyes. Thank you for meeting me. His handshake lingers a heartbeat too long, his palm warm and slightly calloused. Not the soft hands of someone who's never worked a day in his life. The contradiction intrigues her. I have to admit, Sophia says as they settle into their seats. Your call was mysterious. A charity gala, but you wouldn't say which charity, or where, or even your last name. Adrian's fingers drum against his coffee cup, a nervous tell that makes him seem younger somehow. I know it sounds strange, but I've learned that sometimes details complicate things before they need to be complicated. The way he says it, with a shadow crossing his expression, makes Sophia lean forward despite herself. That sounds like experience talking. It is. He meets her eyes directly, and she feels that strange flutter again. I'd rather you judge the event and me on merit, not on preconceptions. There's a story there, hidden beneath the surface. Sophia's always been good at reading people. It's part of what makes her successful at creating the perfect atmosphere for each client. But Adrian is different. Layers upon layers, like looking at a lake and only seeing the reflection on the surface. Fair enough, she says, though curiosity burns in her chest. Tell me about this gala, as he speaks, about supporting local arts, programs about wanting something elegant but not ostentatious. Sophia finds herself studying the details. His clothes are simple but clearly expensive. His watch is understated silver, nothing flashy. But it's his hands that captivate her. Strong, with those unexpected calluses moving gracefully as he gestures. Budget? She asks, pulling out her notebook to ground herself in familiar territory. Whatever it takes to do it right. Sophia's pen pauses mid-air. In her experience, everyone has a budget. Everyone except... That's not really an answer. It's the only answer I can give you right now. Adrian's voice drops lower, more intimate. I know that makes this complicated, but I'm hoping you'll trust me. The word trust hangs between them, loaded with meaning neither of them quite understands yet. Sophia finds herself nodding before her business sense can object. I'll need references. Previous events you've organized, or this is my first. First. Charity gala? First. Anything like this? The vulnerability in his admission catches her off guard. Here's this confident, mysterious man who speaks about unlimited budgets, admitting he's never organized an event before. The contradiction should worry her. Instead, it makes her want to lean closer. Then why start with something so ambitious? Adrian's smile returns, but softer this time. More personal. Because I have a feeling you're worth starting with something. Ambitious for? Heat blooms in Sophia's cheeks, and she looks down at her notebook to hide her reaction. When was the last time someone said something like that to her? When was the last time she felt this flutter of anticipation, this sense of standing at the edge of something that could change everything? So, she says, proud that her voice remains steady, when is this mysterious gala of yours? 6 weeks. Sophia's head snaps up. 6 weeks? That's impossible. The venue alone? Already secured. The catering, the flowers, the entertainment. Leave that to me. Adrian leans forward, and Sophia catches a hint of his cologne, something woodsy and warm that makes her want to breathe deeper. I just need someone who can make it all feel magical. Someone who understands that the perfect event isn't about the money spent, but about the moments created. Their eyes meet and hold, and Sophia feels the ground shift beneath her feet. She has no idea she's just agreed to fall in love with a man who doesn't exist. 3 weeks later, Sophia finds herself in Adrian's apartment, and nothing makes sense. The address he gave her led to a modest building in a middle-class neighborhood, exactly what she'd expected from a man who seemed so determinedly ordinary. But the apartment itself tells a different story. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city, furniture that's simple but clearly expensive, art on the walls that looks like it belongs in galleries. Inherited, Adrian says quickly, catching her surprised expression as he hands her a glass of wine. My uncle had good taste. It's a lie. Sophia can hear it in the slight pause, see it in the way he won't quite meet her eyes. But she doesn't push. Everyone has secrets, and Adrian's feel intimate somehow. Personal in a way that makes her chest tight with unexpected protectiveness. They're supposed to be finalizing the menu, but the papers spread across his coffee table remain untouched. Instead, they're sitting on his couch, not quite close enough to touch, but close enough that Sophia can feel the heat radiating from his body. Tell me something, she says, wine making her bolder than usual. What do you do? For work, I mean. Adrian's fingers tighten around his glass. Consulting. What kind of consulting? The boring kind. He turns to face her fully, and the movement brings him closer, close enough that she can see the flecks of silver in his gray eyes. What about you? How did you get into event planning? It's a deflection, but Sophia lets it slide because the way he's looking at her makes her forget the question anyway. I've always loved bringing people together, creating moments that matter. And do you? Create moments that matter? The question is innocent enough, but something in his tone makes it feel loaded, makes the space between them feel charged with possibility. I try to. Her voice comes out softer than intended. Though I think the best moments can't really be planned. They just happen. Like this? The words slip out before Adrian can stop them, and Sophia's breath catches. Like this. Like sitting in his living room with papers forgotten between them, wine warming her blood, and the dangerous sense that she's teetering on the edge of something that could consume her entirely. Adrian... He sets down his wine glass with deliberate care. I should apologize for that. Should you? Yes. This is business. Professional. You're helping me organize an event, and I shouldn't... Shouldn't what? The challenge in her voice makes his eyes darken. Shouldn't be thinking about how beautiful you look when you're passionate about something. Shouldn't be wondering what you'd do if I moved closer. Shouldn't be imagining... He stops himself, jaw clenching with the effort. Sophia's heart pounds so loudly she's certain he can hear it. Imagining what? Adrian's hand finds her face, fingers threading into her hair with agonizing gentleness. Things I have no right to imagine? What if I want you to have that right? The confession tears from her throat before she can stop it, and Adrian's control fractures visibly. His thumb traces her cheekbone, and Sophia leans into the touch without thinking. "You don't understand," he whispers, and there's something almost desperate in his voice. "If you knew who I really was." "Then tell me." "I can't." "Why?" "Because." His thumb moves to her bottom lip, and Sophia's entire world narrows to that single point of contact. "Because I've never had someone look at me the way you do. Like I'm just me, not anything else. Just me." The raw honesty in his voice breaks something open in Sophia's chest. She covers his hand with hers, pressing his palm more firmly against her cheek. "You are just you," she says fiercely. "Whatever you think I need to know, whatever you're afraid of, it doesn't change that. You can't know that." "Yes, I can." She turns her face to press a soft kiss to his palm, and Adrian's sharp intake of breath sends heat spiraling through her. "Because I'm falling for you, the real you, the man who gets nervous when he talks about trust, who has calloused hands, but expensive taste, who looks at me like..." "Like what?" "Like I'm something precious." Adrian's control snaps. He pulls her closer, until she's nearly in his lap, until there's nothing between them but shared breath and possibility. His forehead rests against hers, and Sophia can feel him trembling. "Sophia?" "Yes?" His lips are a whisper away from hers. When his phone rings, they freeze, the spell broken but not shattered. Adrian closes his eyes, cursing softly under his breath. "Answer it," Sophia whispers, but she doesn't move away. He reaches for his phone with obvious reluctance, and Sophia catches sight of the caller ID. Peterson, legal. Adrian declines the call immediately, but the damage is done. Reality has intruded, bringing with it all the questions Sophia has been trying not to ask. "I should go," she says, but neither of them moves. "Stay." The single word is both plea and promise, and Sophia feels herself wavering on the knife's edge of a decision that will change everything. Sophia doesn't go home that night. Instead, she stays on Adrian's couch, talking until the city lights blur into dawn outside his windows. They share stories carefully curated to reveal just enough: her struggles building her business, his admission that he's between things right now, searching for something real in a world that often feels artificial. By morning, Sophia knows 3 things for certain. Adrian makes her laugh until her cheeks ache. He listens like her words are the most important thing in the world, and she's in deeper than she ever intended to be. 2 days later, she stands in the abandoned ballroom Adrian has chosen for the gala, and her breath catches in her throat. The space is magnificent: soaring ceilings, crystal chandeliers that catch the light like frozen fireworks, hardwood floors that gleam despite their age. It should cost a fortune to rent. Should be booked months in advance, but somehow Adrian secured it with a single phone call. "How?" she asks, voice echoing in the empty space. Adrian doesn't answer immediately. He's standing by the tall windows, hands shoved deep in his pockets, looking out at the city below. There's tension in the line of his shoulders that hasn't been there before. "Does it matter?" he says finally. "It matters to me." He turns then, and Sophia sees something haunted in his expression. "Why?" "Because I'm starting to care about you. Really care. And I can't shake the feeling that there are parts of your life you're keeping locked away from me." Adrian crosses the room slowly, deliberately, until he's close enough that Sophia has to tilt her head back to meet his eyes. "What if those parts aren't worth knowing?" "That's not your decision to make." "Isn't it?" The challenge hangs between them, and Sophia feels her temper flare, not with anger, but with frustration born of wanting something she can't quite name. "You want to know what I think?" she says, stepping closer until they're sharing the same breath. "I think you're scared." Adrian's eyes darken. "Of what?" "Of letting someone see all of you. the real you, not the version you've decided is safe to show the world. And you want to see all of me? The question is loaded with double meaning, and heat pools low in Sophia's belly. Yes, even if you don't like what you find, especially then. Something shifts in Adrian's expression. Surprise, maybe, or the first crack in carefully constructed walls. His hand rises to cup her face, and Sophia leans into the touch instinctively. Sophia! Don't. She covers his hand with both of hers, holding him to her. Don't apologize. Don't rationalize. Don't think. Just be here, with me. I am here. No, you're not. Part of you is, but the rest. She trails off, searching. His face. Who are you really, Adrian? For a moment, she thinks he might tell her. His mouth opens, words forming on his lips, and Sophia holds her breath. Then his phone rings again. This time, Adrian doesn't even look at it. He silences the call without breaking eye contact, then deliberately drops the phone onto a nearby chair. I'm someone who's never felt about anyone the way I feel about you, he says quietly. Sophia's heart lurches. How do you feel about me? Instead of answering with words, Adrian's hands frame her face, thumbs tracing her cheekbones with reverent gentleness. The touch sends shivers down her spine, and when he leans closer, Sophia's eyes flutter closed, like I've been holding my breath. My entire life, he whispers against her lips, and you're the first person who makes me want to breathe again. The confession breaks the last of Sophia's restraint. She rises on her toes, eliminating the space between them, and presses her mouth to his. The kiss is everything their weeks of careful distance has been building toward, desperate and tender, hungry and reverent all at once. Adrian's hands slide into her hair, angling her head to deepen the contact, and Sophia melts against him with a soft sound of surrender. When they finally break apart, both breathing hard, Adrian rests his forehead against hers. I'm falling in love with you, Sophia whispers, the words torn from somewhere deep in her chest. Adrian's hands tighten in her hair, and for a moment his careful control cracks completely. Sophia, His phone rings again, and again. This time, the sound is insistent, urgent in a way that makes them both freeze. Adrian closes his eyes, cursing softly. I have to. I know. He reaches for his phone reluctantly, and Sophia catches a glimpse of multiple missed calls, text messages piling up on his screen. Whatever crisis is unfolding in his hidden life can't be ignored any longer. Peterson, Adrian answers, his voice shifting into something cooler, more authoritative. This better be... He stops mid-sentence, his entire body going rigid. Sophia watches his face transform. Watch the man she's falling in love with disappear behind a mask she doesn't recognize. How long ago? Adrian asks, and now his voice is pure command. And the media? No, don't wait. Handle it now. I'm on my way. He ends the call and stands frozen, phone clutched in his hand like it might explode. Adrian? Sophia's voice seems to come from very far away. What's wrong? When he looks at her, there's something like grief in his eyes. I have to go. Sophia doesn't see Adrian for 3 days. No calls, no texts, no explanation for why he disappeared after the most intense moment they'd shared, leaving her alone in that ballroom with the taste of his kiss still on her lips and a dozen questions burning in her chest. On the 4th day, she breaks. She shows up at his apartment building at 7 in the morning with coffee and determination, prepared to demand answers. But the doorman, who she'd never noticed looked so polished, so professional, stops her with an apologetic smile. I'm sorry, miss, but Mr. Cole isn't receiving visitors. Mr. Cole. Not Adrian. Mr. Cole, like he's someone important, someone who has staff to manage his social calendar. It's about the gala, Sophia lies smoothly. There's an emergency with the catering. The doorman's expression doesn't change, but something flickers in his eyes. After a moment, he nods toward the elevators. Penthouse. But he's not himself today. Penthouse. Sophia's stomach drops as the elevator climbs higher than she knew the building went. When the doors open directly into an apartment that occupies the entire top floor, she understands with crystal clarity that everything Adrian has told her has been a lie. The space is stunning, all clean lines and floor-to-ceiling windows offering a panoramic view of the city. Art that she now recognizes as original pieces worth more than her entire business. Furniture that whispers money in a language she's never learned to speak. And there, standing with his back to her at the windows, is Adrian. But not Adrian. This man wears a suit that probably costs more than her rent. His hair is perfectly styled, his posture radiating the kind of confidence that comes from knowing you own whatever room you're standing in. When he turns, his face is a stranger's face, cold, controlled, unreachable. "You shouldn't be here," he says, and his voice is different too, clipped, distant. Sophia feels like she's looking at him through water. "Who are you?" Adrian, the man she thought was Adrian, closes his eyes briefly. When he opens them, there's pain there, but it's locked away behind walls she doesn't know how to scale. "Adrian Cole," he says quietly, CEO of Cole Enterprises. Net worth approximately $2.3 billion according to last month's Forbes article. The numbers hit her like physical blows. Billionaire. The word bounces around in her head, refusing to make sense. "The gala," she whispers. "A charity event for the Cole Foundation, my foundation." His smile is bitter. "Though I suppose you've figured that out by now." Sophia sinks onto the nearest chair, leather that probably costs more than her car. "Why?" "Why? Lie to you?" "Why everything?" The question tears from her throat. "Why pretend to be someone else? Why make me fall in love with a man who doesn't exist?" "He does exist." "No, he doesn't." Sophia stands abruptly, anger giving her strength. "The Adrian I fell in love with was honest, vulnerable. He had calloused hands and worried about trust and made me feel like I was the only person in the world who mattered. You," she gestures at the pristine apartment, at his perfect suit. "You're someone else entirely." "I'm the same person." "You're a billionaire." "Yes." "Living in a penthouse." "Yes." "Who?" "Lied to me about everything." Adrian flinches like she's struck him. "Not everything." "Then what was real?" Sophia's voice breaks on the question. "Anything? Any of it?" "This." Before she can react, Adrian crosses the space between them in 2 quick strides. His hands frame her face, and he kisses her with something like desperation, as if he can pour the truth of his feelings into the space between their mouths. Sophia should push him away, should demand more answers, should protect what's left of her heart. Instead, she kisses him back, because beneath the expensive cologne and perfect styling, beneath the lies and the money and the life he's hidden from her, she can still taste the man who held her like she was precious, who whispered confessions in her ear like prayers. When they break apart, both breathing hard, Adrian's forehead rests against hers. "I never meant for this to happen," he whispers. "What? Falling in love with me?" "You falling in love with someone who isn't real." Sophia's hands fist in his perfect suit jacket. "Are you in love with me?" "Yes." "The real you? Not the version you show the world, but you?" "Yes." "Then he is real." Sophia's voice is fierce. "Maybe everything else was a lie, but that's real." Adrian's control finally cracks completely. He pulls her against him, burying his face in her neck, and Sophia can feel him trembling. "I'm so sorry," he breathes against her skin. "I'm so goddamn sorry." "Why?" Sophia pulls back to look at him, and the raw pain in his expression nearly undoes her. "Why couldn't you just tell me the truth?" "Because..." Adrian's voice breaks. "Because Everyone wants something from me. Everyone has an angle, and you looked at me like I was just a man and I'd forgotten what that felt like. The confession hangs between them, and Sophia understands with painful clarity that her world has just shifted irrevocably. The gala is tomorrow night, and she still doesn't know if the man she loves is real or just another beautiful lie. The gala is perfect. Sophia stands at the edge of the ballroom, watching Adrian Cole, billionaire, move through the crowd with practiced ease. He's in his element here, commanding attention without trying, surrounded by the kind of people who appear in financial magazines and society pages. She's transformed the space into something magical. Fairy lights woven through the chandeliers, flowers cascading down marble columns, soft jazz floating through air that shimmers with possibility. But all Sophia can see is the man at the center of it all, the man who still feels like a stranger despite the way her heart races when he smiles. Sophia Martinez. She turns to find a woman in an elegant evening gown approaching, champagne in hand, and curiosity in her eyes. "I'm Catherine Walsh from the Tribune. I understand you organized this beautiful event." "I did." For Adrian Cole. Catherine's smile sharpens slightly. "That must be quite the career opportunity. His events are legendary." Sophia's chest tightens. "His events? Oh, you must be new to his circle. Adrian throws the most exclusive parties in the city. The charity galas, the corporate retreats, the intimate dinner parties that make or break political careers." Catherine sips her champagne. "Though I have to say, he's never worked with a small firm before. How did you manage to catch his attention?" The words hit Sophia like cold water. Everything, every conversation about this being his first event, every moment of supposed vulnerability, all of it, another lie. She excuses herself and heads for the bathroom, needing air, needing space, needing to breathe through the crushing weight of betrayal settling in her chest. She's staring at herself in the mirror, trying to hold back tears that threaten to ruin her makeup, when the door opens behind her. Sophia. Adrian's reflection appears. Beside hers, and even through her anger, Sophia's traitorous heart skips at the sight of him. "Get out!" "We need to talk. We needed to talk 3 weeks ago, before I fell in love with someone who doesn't exist." Adrian moves closer, and Sophia can smell his cologne, different from the woodsy scent she'd grown to love. More expensive. More distant. "He does exist. Stop saying that." Sophia whirls to face him, anger blazing in her chest. "I just learned from a reporter that you've organized dozens of events, that this is something you do regularly. So what was all that about? It being your first time? About needing someone to make it feel magical?" Adrian's jaw clenches. "I've hosted events, but I've never organized one myself. Never cared about the details, about making it personal. Because you hire people like me to care for you." "No." His voice is sharp with frustration. "Because I'd never met anyone worth caring for before." The confession hangs between them, but Sophia is too hurt to let it land. "I don't believe you." "Then believe this." Adrian closes the distance between them in 2 quick strides, backing her against the marble counter. His hands brace on either side of her, trapping her in the circle of his arms, and Sophia's breath catches despite herself. "3 weeks ago, I was going through the motions of a life I never chose," he says, his voice low and urgent. "Playing a part, maintaining an image, doing what was expected of Adrian Cole, the billionaire. Then I walked into that cafe and saw you. And for the first time in my adult life, I wanted to be just me." Sophia's heart pounds against her ribs. "So you lied." "So I tried to become someone worthy of the way you looked at me. You were already worthy." "Was I?" Adrian's laugh is bitter. "I'm a man who inherits more money in a day than most people see, in a lifetime, who has never had to wonder if someone loves me for myself or for what I can give them." Who built walls so high I forgot what it felt like to let someone in. His thumb traces along her jawline, and Sophia shivers despite herself. But you made me want to tear those walls down, he whispers. You made me want to be real. Then be real with me now. Adrian steps back, giving her space, but his eyes never leave hers. My name is Adrian Cole. I'm 32 years old, and I've been running my father's company since he died 5 years ago. I hate charity galas and business dinners and the way people change when they learn my net worth. I love old movies and terrible takeout Chinese food and the way you laugh when something genuinely delights you. Sophia's anger wavers. I have more money than I know what to do with, but I'd give all of it up for one more night on my couch, talking. Until sunrise, pretending I was just a man falling in love with an extraordinary woman. Adrian, I love you, he says simply. Not the event planner who can make my life easier, not the woman who might fit into my world. I love you, Sophia Martinez, who argues with me about flower arrangements and falls asleep surrounded by planning, notebooks, and makes me believe that maybe, just maybe, I could be someone worth loving back. Sophia stares at him, seeing past the expensive suit to the man underneath, the one with careful hands and worried eyes who held her like she was precious. Ask me, she whispers. What? Ask me the question you've been afraid to ask since the moment we met. Adrian's hands shake slightly as they frame her face. Will you love me? All of me? The money and the complications and the life that comes with my name? Will you love me even when it's hard? Sophia rises on her toes, eliminating the space between them, and presses her mouth to his. The kiss tastes like champagne and possibility, like the end of one story and the beginning of another. Yes, she whispers against his lips. I'll love all of you, even the parts you think I shouldn't. When they break apart, Adrian's smile is radiant. Not the practiced charm of Adrian Cole, billionaire, but the genuine joy of a man who's finally found his way home. So, Sophia says, smoothing his lapels with gentle hands, ready to introduce me to your world? Our world, Adrian corrects and kisses her again. Outside, the gala continues in perfect harmony, but neither of them notices. They've found something more valuable than money, more precious than status, more perfect than any event Sophia has ever planned. They've found each other.